I do want to say real quick, thanks to everybody who has been liking, subscribing, commenting. You guys are awesome. If you're not doing that, why not? Start doing it. Not really. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm libertarian. You're free to choose. So, on to the video. G'day, friends and neighbors. Welcome to another day in the shop. Hanging out with the Expo bus. Don't have a lot of time today, but just try to knock out one or two things just to keep progress moving forward. So, let's get after it. So today I just really had time for a small project. Since the engine's back in, I went ahead and set the air filter back in place with mass airflow. Put all the fuel plumbing and everything back in place just to see how everything's packaged. Threw the engine cover on just to give it a little more finished look. And put the timing cover on. So that gets like all the hard parts out of the way so we can see kind of where everything fits and everything doesn't. So on today's agenda is the coolant ball, which if you're not familiar, a Degas bottle, I guess, Degas, whatever. If you're not familiar with Volkswagen stuff, in lieu of a radiator cap, they just have this. So there's no traditional like radiator cap with a spring. You have this bottle that's your coolant reservoir, your overflow, your everything, and ideally needs to be the highest point in the cooling system so that all the air will bleed out and you don't have to deal with air bubbles in your cooling system, screw everything up. Since our cooling system is a little complex with all the lines running forward, it's important to get this right. So, drop it and break it. So, I was going to pull one off of one of my old cars, but then I realized a new one costs like $16 and actually looks nice. So, been playing around with mounting options. Thought about right here. It's actually one of the cleanest ways to do it. However, the inlet, well, the outlet, everything is on the wrong side. It's just going to make, and also have to run lines all the way across, kind of like, Didn't really want to put it here just because of the proximity of the exhaust, but there's a heat shield. It's pretty open down there. I don't think there's going to be any issues with heat. And this is closest to the factory location. Usually they sit like up and over here, I guess if I show you. Up and over here. So right here gets it pretty close for doing like factory style coolant lines. So I can just make a little bracket off of these two tabs. Guess it would sit basically just like this. And mount it up right in there. And we'll have a coolant bottle in place. Alright, so measured up the coolant ball. Drew it up. See if we can't cut it out. This helps you zero the axis first. This is like the #1 first thing when you start running CNC machines is always remember to zero your axis, because when you forget, you're gonna have a bad time. Alright, let's get started. Alright, bracket worked out perfectly. Just threw a couple of screws, 1/4" screws into here. If I don't think there'll ever be any issue strength-wise with this. Plenty strong, so have a place for our coolant. So now I need to refer to Mr. Bentley and figure out where all the lines actually need to be connected for the things I've deleted and gotten rid of, and add in heater core and all of that going up front. I think there'll be a heater core directly under the back seat, and then something small up front to act as a defroster. But basically now it's time to tackle, well, not now, but this sets us up to be able to tackle all the coolant lines and everything and get that rolling. So pretty happy to be able to knock that off of. I don't have a marker, so I can't be as awesome, but to knock that off the list. It's probably not even on the list, so anyhow, there we go. So at the end of the last video, I coded everything in the thrust converter. Actually, it works pretty sweet. There's a few spots that I don't know what's going on. I'm going to recoat it today and let it sit over the weekend and really get set, but it's kind of similar. Permatex sells a product called Extend, which we used to use a ton of. Looks like the same thing, just comes in gallon form, and was like 45 bucks on Amazon for a gallon, so pretty stoked about that. Just brush it on with a cheap chip brush and go work. kind of can see, and really, ergonomics are pretty good. Come up, my knee is in the steering wheel a little bit, but I think that I'm going to slide the seat back about 2 inches. Will give me a comfortable driving position, and should be good. Throttle pedal, it's not bad. I feel like same thing, if it slides forward just a little bit, or the seat slides back a little bit. But honestly, there's a pretty good amount of room there. And then the shifter where it belongs. I mean, everything is pretty good, honestly. Can't complain too much. A lot of people were naysaying using these swinging pedals like this about the ergonomics, how horrible it'll be, but really, they feel pretty good. I mean, don't see a lot of fatigue coming from that. Like I said, biggest issue is my knee hitting this, but I think if they slide back about 1 inch and the seat slides back about 1 inch, that I'll have plenty of room. I'm super average height. I mean, I have a 32-inch inseam, so someone taller probably couldn't pull this off, but for your average person like myself, I think it's going to work out. Alright, so thanks for watching along again. Pretty stoked to have the pedals in. The next thing I'll do now is actually draw a real looking mounting bracket. It looks a little more sexy. Not quite so but more like So that's next on the list, and then run back the lines from the pedal to here so that my clutch works. I think all the exhaust stuff showed up, which is awesome. I found like a $12 muffler on Summit that I'm going to attempt to put back here and make work. So that's next on the agenda. Next time around I'll be doing that, and hopefully we'll have a mobile bus by then, which I keep saying for the last 2 months, but eventually I get there. So again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do the whole thing, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, almost forgot. Side note. We are considering loading up my slammed thing and taking it to Cletus and Cars in Florida November 23rd. Don't know if it's a good idea or not. If anybody else is going, drop me a line. Maybe we can hook up. That's it. See ya.